Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is a fantastic title that has only been getting better with each title update. Now that we have received title update number 5, the final title update that we're going to be receiving in the game, apart from the bonus title update that we're going to be seeing in June, it's safe to say that we have seen by now most of what we're going to be getting in the game. As such, with Sunbreak now releasing on consoles, I thought it would be a good idea to make a video covering the things that I dislike about Sunbreak. So if you yourself are looking to purchase the expansion, or maybe just want to hear my opinion on things that should be improved in the future, then this is the video for you. I will also be making a video talking about the good things about Sunbreak, because I do like a lot of features that are present in this game. Again, I want to emphasize that I really do like Sunbreak, so look forward to that video as well. Now, the first thing that I dislike about Sunbreak, and I think a lot of hunters will be able to agree with me here, is the insane amount of RNG present in the game. When Monster Hunter Rise released, for the most part, the only RNG that we had to deal with was getting a decent charm. You would be looking out for a charm that had a level 3 skill that you would use on your mixed sets, as well as a couple or 3 level 2 decoration slots. That was pretty much a perfect charm. If you had that, you were set for the endgame. However, things have changed a lot in Sunbreak, especially with the title updates. Now, not only do you have to grind for a good charm, but we also get into Diablo levels of RNG customization on your loadouts when we talk about curio augmentation for your armor sets. Essentially, you're able to upgrade each one of your armor pieces by using materials you get by completing anomaly investigations, and with these armor pieces you can add all sorts of different armor skills to them, increase the number of decoration slots, and even remove some of your own skills from the armor pieces. There are different skill tables to this, some skills being more costly than others, and there is a whole formula to this that you can figure out. But the chances of you getting the perfect roll on an armor piece are insanely low, especially when we're talking about having an armor piece where you want to remove a skill like, for example, a skill that only works for ranged weapons, but you yourself are a melee user that doesn't use the bowguns, so you don't need that skill and you might as well remove it and use another skill in its place. The odds of that happening are insanely low, and so whenever I see someone online rocking the perfect set with the perfect CurioCraft augmentations, either those players have spent hundreds of hours just upgrading that armor set alone, or more likely than not, they have used mods to enable them to customize their sets to their liking. And personally, I don't fault them for that, because this system is so arbitrary that it kinda makes me just not want to interact with it. And I know a lot of players have essentially stopped playing the endgame because try as they might and farm as many anomaly investigations as they may, they are never going to get the perfect rolls or the rolls that they want, so why even bother? That being said, through title updates, especially title update number 5, we have gotten different methods to get much better charms that are actually able to come with fantastic skills, and a lot of them. You can get, for example, Dragon Heart level 4, and it's not even that rare. And now you're even able to focus a specific skill for your charm, which is absolutely amazing. I was really hoping they would do the same for CurioCraft augmentations. They have added a couple of options to try to help in that effort, but personally I don't think they help all that much, especially since you can't even select which skill you'd like to remove from the armor piece you're upgrading. So when you choose the option that, yes, I'd like to remove one of the armor skills in order to get better chances of getting the more powerful skills, sometimes you'll just remove the skill you want to keep, and that's something that you just don't want to do. Some people in the Monster Hunter community have said that this system is more so something that is on top of everything else that you do in the game, and you shouldn't really worry too much about it, but at the same time, if that's the case, then what's really the point of this being the endgame system of Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak? Why farm all those anomaly investigations if you cannot get those drops? Is the only point of CurioCraft augmentations just to put the best ones on your guild card and show off to your friends? I don't think that's the case. I think it's cool that you are able to try to get the best augments possible. I just think that the system doesn't give you good enough odds to get what you want. And that's a bit of a shame because it may detract players from further interacting with it. And this, of course, leads me to my second point, which is the absurd grind in some aspects compared to others. For example, Title Update 5 just released the final monster that we're going to be getting, apart from, of course, the bonus update in June, which was Amatsu. The Master Rank requirements for hunting Amatsu is Master Rank 28. The fight itself is not too hard, but he is able to dish out a lot of damage if you're not careful, and if you are not prepared, he may even be able to one-shot you. Contrast this with, for example, the Risen Elder Dragons that we have been receiving, where the latest one is Risen Shagaru Magala. Likewise, he deals a ton of damage, being even able to one-shot you, is extremely aggressive, and the Master Rank requirements to hunt him is 180. I don't get why is there such a big gap between these two. I get that Risen Elder Dragons are kind of on another league compared to Amatsu, but even so, I just don't get why they make these Master Rank requirements so high for the Risen Elder Dragons, when so many players that have either stopped playing the game for a while and are now getting back into it, it's going to take a very long time to get there. Sure, there are some event quests that you can farm just to get Master Rank, but that's not fun, that is a bit of a chore. I would much prefer the developers to close the gap between these two examples that I just gave you. For example, make Master Rank Amatsu be Master Rank 50 or above, but the Risen Elder Dragons would be Master Rank 100, for example. Personally, I never had any issues with the Master Rank requirements. As a content creator, it's kind of my obligation to keep up with the grind and always be able to do the new content. That is very understandable, but I feel like newer players may have that issue. And to further compound this, there's also the fact that you need to grind a lot of these anomaly investigations to get all of the choreographed augmentations and also the weapon augmentations, which I don't mind too much. We now have these special investigations which require you to do anomaly quests that are level 300, but these are supposed to be the very hardest quests that are available in the game, so I get why there is so much grind behind them. What I don't get, however, is why you need to farm so many armor spheres to upgrade the armor sets. In the latest episode of the 5th Fleet podcast with Gaijin Hunter and Rurikon, Gaijin said something along the lines of, you need to grind for a couple of hours, doing quests where you exclusively look for the lizard that gives you armor spheres, and only after 2 hours of grind are you able to fully upgrade an entire armor set. Which is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Now there are some other methods that allow you to get a few more armor spheres along the way, like for example visiting the big tree in Kamura village that is going to give you a few armor spheres every now and again. But let's be honest, farming armor spheres is not engaging, it's not a fun system, it's not challenging by any means, it's just meaningless grind that doesn't take any skill and takes away from the enjoyment of the actual game. And especially now that we have choreographed augmentations, sometimes you want to keep duplicates of the same armor piece but with different augmentations because they fit different playstyles or different weapons. And if you're taking these armor pieces into the endgame, of course you'll want to upgrade their defenses as much as possible, so that is going to cost you even more armor spheres. I hope I don't sound like a crazy guy when I'm saying this, but it's just not fun to farm armor spheres. I've only ever had to do this once, because again I've been playing the game a lot and I've been keeping up with the different title updates, but if I were a newer player and I would have to farm for a couple of hours just to upgrade my armor set, that's the thing that would make me stop playing this game. Especially since I play pretty much every weapon in the game, so I always have a couple of different sets available for each weapon. Now my third point in this list is one that many people may not agree with me, but it's the Gathering Hub. Currently in Sunbreak in Elgato, there is no Gathering Hub, and even if it was, we really wouldn't have anything to do between quests. I kind of just miss the Gathering Hub from Celiana, for example. The one we had in Iceborne was so much fun, you had a lot of space to hang out with your buddies. You could have up to 16 people in there, which I know some people prefer the 4-player hubs, but I just feel like the 16-player hubs are much better. And the rooms you would have in Celiana were a lot bigger, you could customize a lot more in them, and you could take all 16 players into your own room as well. Even though I may have only interacted with that part of the game 3-4 times at most. That was a very cool and awesome feature that was very memorable, and it's just a shame that it's missing here in Sunbreak. I mean, it's not a big deal, but we don't even have a Poogie or arm wrestling, and those are very iconic to the Monster Hunter franchise. Again, it's a very minor deal, which only further proves that I love Sunbreak so much, but it is something that I dislike about the game and would like to see improved in a future title. Now, the next thing that I dislike about Sunbreak is, of course, the paid DLC. I've talked about this a few times here on the channel. We have gotten a crazy amount of paid DLC here in this game. Of course, we got the basic stickers, gestures, hairstyles and face paint, but we also get layered armor sets and, more importantly, the layered weapons. This is a very big topic to talk about, but it is a slippery slope that I'm not a big fan of. Having these cool and unique animations that are only used for layered weapons and cannot be found anywhere else in the game is kind of where I draw the line where things should not be paid DLC. I'm fine with layered armor sets and stickers and gestures because you can get things of the same or even higher quality already in the base game. And let's be honest, all this content that we have been getting as paid DLC are things that would be available in the game for free in the previous titles. And that leads me to my next point, the final point of the video, which is the lack of events and collaborations. Now, lately the Monster Hunter team has added a decent amount of layered sets, some brand new, some others returning from Monster Hunter Frontier and World, but most of the event quests that we currently have available aren't all that interesting and simply reward you with things such as stickers, poses, guild card titles, etc. And I'm sorry, but that's just not appealing. Never in my life have I done an event quest simply because I wanted a sticker or a title. Now, keep in mind that I do still do them, as I am a Monster Hunter content creator and a bit of a completionist too. But it's kind of appalling to see that such a successful Monster Hunter entry has had so few interesting, cool and fun events like we have had in the past, even as far back as the 3DS titles. And what's more is the lack of collaborations. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we have had a single collaboration in Sunbreak at all. All the collaborations we have received were in base Rise, and all of them, with the exception of the Sonic collaboration, were Capcom collaborations, which makes me a bit confused. Monster Hunter Rise launched as a Switch exclusive, so why didn't we have anything collaborated with Nintendo or some other notable franchise? Monster Hunter has always had a ton of cool collaborations over the years, and the Sonic collaboration they did in Rise was actually pretty fun. It was a lot of fun to roam around the map and collect different rings with the Sonic outfit and with the Sonic music on the background. But why can't we have more of that? Especially when, again, we have all of this paid DLC. And back in Monster Hunter World and even Iceborne, we did have some paid DLC, but it was nowhere near to this extent, and we had much better collaborations and events. Lest I remind you of Behemoth and the Ancient Lesson, which are two extremely fun and very memorable hunts that we have ever received in the game. Extreme Behemoth is still in my top 10 monsters of all time in the series. That's how much I like that hunt. So yeah, it is a shame that we have not seen that much attention and content on that side of the game in Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak. The game has done extremely well, having sold over 12 million copies. Sure, it's not as many as World, which has sold over 20 million, but it's still a huge number, far more than we ever had in the 3DS era of Monster Hunter games. And I'm sure you guys have missed the cool events here as well. Again, I really do love Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. I think it is a phenomenal expansion that has done a lot of good for Monster Hunter Rise. I'm going to be making another video talking about what I love about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and I hope you guys watch that video because there is a lot that I need to say. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Dark Hero, and as always, happy hunting.